filth, adultery, fornication. You're sitting there when Jesus comes, and you're watching that film. How do you expect to come out of that cesspool suddenly?
Satan, I'm putting you on notice. We're exposing Hollywood.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Everybody, David Evander here. That's the problem. Most people can't handle the truth, but you and I can, because that's what we speak each and every week. It's so good to be with you now on Thursday nights. Normally it's Monday, and we're still with you every Monday, but God has opened a door. He's given us some provision to come to you on Thursday night, and it's so good to be here. You know, I went to the dentist today, and I wasn't going to talk about this, but I have to because it's on my mind. I don't know if you guys like going to the dentist or not. It's not my favorite place to be, but it just rose to a new level of insanity. So I go to this dentist, not the one I normally go to in Hollywood. This is someplace else. I won't even say where, but it's one of those corporate dentist offices where they have branches, I think, all over the country. And they go in and they just don't x-ray. You know, I got a little toothache right here, you know, and so I thought they just might take a picture of my little tooth that just needs to be. No, they x-rayed my whole, I think they x-rayed my whole body, actually. They put me in every angle, had cameras up and down. You know, I felt like I was on a big feature film movie. And they were shooting all this x-ray, this radiation through my body. And then they sit me in a chair, and then they take this light thing and they stick it, you know, in my mouth. And it's some type of, I don't know what that is. And so I'm ready for the doctor, the dentist to come in and look at my little tooth, which is hurting. You know, I think I lost a filling. And all of a sudden, this lady gets out this blood pressure machine. And she says, I'm just going to take your blood pressure. And I said, excuse me? She goes, I'm just going to take your blood pressure. I said, you ain't taking my blood pressure. She goes, what? I said, you're not taking my blood pressure. Well, what do you mean I'm not taking it? I said, first of all, this ain't a doctor's office. It's a dentist's office. I'm not here to have my blood pressure taken. I'm here to have my tooth looked at. And she gets, I'm telling you, you would have thought that I had just forgot to wear the Star of David on my arm, 1938 in Germany. She goes and gets a couple of other people. They come over and they go, well, let's talk about this. Why don't you want? I said, look, I said, my blood pressure is my business. I said, it's my blood, it's my body, it runs through my body. It's between me and God, and you have nothing to do with my blood pressure. And man, it was a whole room full of people. Finally, they go, you have high blood pressure, don't you? That's why you don't want us to take your blood pressure. I said, ma'am, I said, after what you have put me through, if a person did not have, my blood pressure is boiling right now. I'm probably getting ready to explode. She says, well, you know, most people, a lot of people that don't want to have their blood pressure taken, they have high blood. I said, no wonder they do. Because if you talk to them and you put them through what you put me through, they'd have high blood pressure. Sorry. But here's my point. My point is, this is control, folks. You know, it's like during the scamdemic, they said, well, let's take your temperature. You know, what right does a person have to invade your body and find out what temperature you are? Think about it. They're going into your body and they want to know what temperature you're running. And this is just somebody, you're walking into an office building. You know, you're not a hospital where maybe they're going to operate on you or do something, you know, important. And or if you get into a building, they want to know what temperature you are. I'll tell you something, temperature. I'm only interested in what temperature I am when it comes to the Holy Spirit, to the power of God in me. That I can be, my blood pressure could be a million over a million, and I'd be very happy about that. But I just think this blood pressure thing and this vitals, they want to know everything about you, you know, social, your date of birth, you know, how hot you are, how cold you are, your blood pressure, how tall you are. Why do you want to know how tall I am? That's the other thing. So they're gathering information. It's put into somewhere into a database. So what's with the blood pressure? Well, she says, well, if you have high blood pressure. I said, why do you want to know if I have high blood pressure? Sorry, I'm going right back to this because it's driving me crazy. Well, here it is. She says, well, we're going to give you some medication. I said, for what? I said, you haven't done anything. What are you going to give me medication for? She goes, well, if we do something. I said, well, so far you ain't doing anything except driving up my blood pressure. She goes, if you have, we're going to give you a shot. If you have high blood pressure, we can't. I said, what kind of shot you going to give me? They said, well, you know, to numb you. I said, you mean like Novocaine? She goes, yeah. I said, you mean like what they've been shooting people with for the past 50 years? What I've been getting for the past 45 years? Is that what you're going to give me? Well, yeah. But you have to know my blood pressure in order to give me that? Well, yeah. Well, why? Well, because it will make your blood pressure go up. But you want my blood pressure to go down. I said, you want to check my blood pressure to see if it's low so you can give me something and make it high. Is that right? She goes, well, maybe. I said, well, what happens if I have high blood pressure? She goes, we're going to give you some medicine to lower your blood pressure. I said, I'm getting out of here. I'm done. People have lost their mind. They've gone crazy. Sorry, this is not what this show is about, but maybe it is. Maybe you and I, as God's people, need to start looking around at this demonic activity and saying, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with them invading my body, invading my space, taking advantage of me, knowing how hot or cold I am, how many bowel movements I make a day. I mean, I'm sorry, but it just goes on and on. We need to put a stop to it, folks. This body belongs to God. And unless we're going to a hospital where there's an emergency or we need to be taken care of, we need to really ask God, should we share this information with these people, God? Are they going to use this in these end times? Is this part of the plan of that, Revelations? You follow what I'm saying? Folks, it's serious business. Anyway, I want to bring on my guest here. Reba, are you out there with me?
I am. Hi, David. How are you?
Well, I don't know. Did you hear me talk just a minute ago?
I most certainly did, and I understand what you're saying. I went to the dentist. They asked me 1,000 questions. I felt so violated.
What? Yeah, but what? Well, let me ask you. Like, what question did they ask you that was the most question of violation? Like, can you give me something?
Just about everyday life. I can't think of a specific question, but I was so overwhelmed, and I felt like I'd been violated when I left. You know, when a criminal touches you or does something, and I felt like, even though it wasn't a physical blow, but I gave answers to questions, and when we went through things, I found they had put in the wrong answers. Like, I smoked cigarettes, I drank beer, and I took drugs, and I don't do any of that. Well, so I was really angry.
Well, you know what? I think this goes into a database, a central system, and I think that this will come back to this will come back to our front door. You know, knock on our front door, you might say. I think, Reba, we got to start thinking about, this is God's body. We belong to God. I don't think we should be giving all this information to people, but we're so conditioned, Don't you agree?
I do agree. And I gave the information. And after I did, I thought, why did I do that? So, yeah. So they called me and they want to another appointment for just a cleaning. And I may call back and say, I felt too violated. I'm not comfortable coming in.
I don't know what, especially dentists. It seems like dentists dentists have no, I mean, it's your mouth. Okay. It's your mouth. All right. So, all right. So, Reba, hey, listen, we had this weekend, we had the premiere of Last Evangelist. You were there. You were a big part of putting it together. You're part of the boots on the ground. You saw the movie, the TV series, and I haven't talked to you much about it, but what'd you think about it? Did you like it?
David, I absolutely love it. And I have a strong feeling that this is going to affect the lives of many people.
Wow.
It's so powerful. And what I like about it is so truthful. And I'm so tired of Christian film. And I've discussed this with other filmmakers, where everything is so syrupy and so sugary sweet. And, once in a while to see one of those would be fine, but that's not real life.
No.
We need to get real.
You're so right. Coach Dave came up to me. I said, what'd you think? He says, brother, I loved it. He goes, let me tell you why. Number one reason I loved it, because it wasn't cheesy. I said, good. I said, I don't like cheese. we don't want Christian cheese, but we want the real stuff.
No.
And this is why a lot of people don't want to come to God, because they think God is religion. You know, they think it's this cheesy religion, you know, wimpy, you know, pussycat in the pulpit type canary in the congregation. I wouldn't want to have anything to do with that. But God is real and God is good, but God also is there's a hard side to God, a tough side to God. And you know, my character, I go through this transformation of being I arrest Christians and send them to prison. Some of them get killed, and then God touches me, and I go through this transformation. I don't turn to some, you know, Bible-toting, you know, Bible-thumping guy all of a sudden. This is a slow transformation. So with the Bible in one hand and a gun in the other, I set out to find the Antichrist. Who do you think this movie, this TV series, Last Evangelist, would be good for? Who do you think it would minister to the most?
I think everybody, because when I spoke with family and I spoke with filmmakers, actually professional filmmakers came to your premiere. And I mean, it's just, it's amazing. One was not a Christian. She's a believer. She believes in the Lord, but she doesn't really take it too seriously. I had several other good Christian filmmakers there. And I actually had one person there who was not a Christian at all. And so when I looked at her, I was looking at the reactions of the people that came, my friends, and she was shifting in her seat. She could not sit still.
Wow.
So what does that tell you? She was affected by it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's so real. And I want to play a clip before we take a break of how the government has now said that Bibles are illegal. And folks, this is happening in other parts of the country. It will come to the front door. It will come to your front door, no matter where you are in the world. Let's play that clip, Spencer. This is the scene from Last Evangelist where they bring a family in. They've been arrested. And why? Because, well, they're handing out Bibles. Let's take a look.
Attention, please. You must be fully vaccinated to enter these premises. Have your vaccine open and ready for scan.
You're hurting her. Stop it.
Okay, so you two are at it again. Let's see. Rioting, burning, looting.
Destroyed 2 police cars this time. We were exercising our rights.
It was a peaceful protest.
Yeah? What's so peaceful about assaulting an old lady? You broke her arm. All right. Here's your citation. Court date's on the back. They'll send $100. Get out of here. What do we got here?
2339A.
Where you go, Lieutenant? 2339A.
Providing support material to terrorists.
We were just handing out Bibles.
Without a permit.
It's an illegal translation, too.
Listen, it was just the King James Version.
It's just the Bible.
It's the Word of God.
It's the word of your God, which makes it terrorist propaganda. It's also a felony. Let me see their vaxports.
They don't have any.
No vaccine.
Wow. No vaxports, huh? No vaxports? Was that the end of that, Spencer? Okay. So, Reba, when you saw that scene all the way through, and by the way, at the end of the scene, she says, book them, no bail. Just, you know, take them away. What'd you think about that? Illegal Bibles.
Well, I know that I have friends that live in other parts of the world, and they are Christians, and with the people are just clamoring for Bibles, and these are people in Muslim countries, and that's something they want, but they have to keep them hidden.
Yeah, they do.
Have to keep these Bibles hidden because they could be killed. They could be, you know, you don't know what will happen. But I know that it's happening in other countries. I certainly don't want it to happen here But I
Well,
do believe it's a good possibility that it will happen.
Oh yeah, it's going to happen. It's first it happens without them taking the physical Bible away, in the way of you can't say certain things as hate speech, which really that means they're making it illegal without saying it's illegal. And that's what this series is all about, folks. I want you to go to lastevangelist.com if you would like to donate. That's how we're making this. Go to lastevangelist.com and you can, like I said, you can donate a special thank you. You can be a producer. You can be an actor. That's how we're funding this. So if you could please support us. All this costs money. To make this series costs money. We want to make episode 2. We need money to market episode 1. Please consider if God leads you to help us out financially. Of course, we do love and we do want your prayers. Also go to davidheavener.tv and you can watch it now. If you sign up to davidheavener.tv, you can watch The Last Evangelist. It's there now. Matter of fact, in about 15 minutes, we're going to be going straight to David Heavener TV underground, and you can't go with us unless you're a member. But if you sign up now, go to davidheavener.tv, you get 2 months free. Also, if you would like to buy the new DVD of Last Evangelist, we have a collector's edition. It's got the movie on it. It's got all of my videos that have been censored with Lisa Haven and Michael Lake and a lot of other ones. That's right here. You can text the word chosen to 91999. Go to davidheavener.tv/order or call 844-806-0006. When we come back, I'm going to be talking to Reba about the fact that she is in the film industry. She had a script, it was stolen, and when she filed charges, she got a knock on the door, and it was the Illuminati. I want you to stay with me. You need to hear this. Be right back. Listen, we have the new End Times DVD. It's investigates End Times investigation. I have a lot of my friends on here, Lisa Haven, Michael Lake. I have Josh Peck, L.A. Marzulli, Stephen Bancroft. I mean, 8 hours of me investigating things like Satanism, demonic powers, Illuminati, New World Order, Antichrist, one world religion, end times miracles, Bible prophecy. Folks, let me tell you something. One day, what you're watching us on right now, it's called television, it's called social media, it's called the internet. They're going to turn that baby off. You need a hard asset. When all this stuff gets shut off, this is what you're going to be able to learn from and to understand. So I want you to text the word chosen to 91999 or go to davidheavener.tv/order or call 844-806-0006. Hey everybody, I am honored and blessed not to have just one new book out, but 2 new books. That's right, 2 new books. The first one is End Times Investigation. I deal with Hollywood mind control. I deal with demon portals, the alien-demon connection, astral projection, program multiples, satanic ritual abuse, and much, much more. The things that I talk about in Last Evangelist and on my shows, all my interviews I do, it's right here in this book, especially my life story. Also, True Power, how to access your true power in these last days, okay? It's a war manual for God's children. We need to learn the enemy's tactics and how to battle the enemy in these last days. Pick up a copy of this book. Just text the word chosen to 91999, or you can go to davidheavener.tv/order, or you can simply call 844-806-0006.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, CEO of MyPillow. I support this show, and I would like to offer you our biggest discounts for listening. So please go to our website, mypillow.com, and put in the promo code at the end of this message to get the biggest discounts. Again, thanks for listening, and God bless.
Hey everybody, David Heavener back with you. Welcome to David Heavener Live. This version of Inside Hollywood, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We expose Hollywood. Hey, by the way, you just saw the Mike Lindell commercial on mypillow.com. I used to watch these commercials on television and go, come on, this is so cheesy. I mean, selling pillows, selling sheets, selling slippers. And all of a sudden I get a call. Say, we really liked your show. Would you be interested? Well, okay, send me the pillows. And so Folks, I had the best night sleep I've had in years sleeping on one of these pillows. I don't know what's in them. I don't, maybe put something in it that I don't know about, but I slept like a baby. I walk around in these slippers. This is high quality stuff. Now, if you're going to buy pillows, if you're going to buy sheets, if you're going to buy slippers, he sells a whole lot of things. If you're going to buy them, support somebody that's like-minded, okay? They have thrown Mike Lindell out of the stores. They've done some, hey, you know what? Buy it, and if you use the name David7, you'll get a discount. Just use the code name David7, and let's support each other, okay? Also, I've got the 2 books. If you'd like to pick them up, I don't know that I'm gonna have a whole lot of these left, but it's my End Times Investigation. It's Hollywood Mind Control, SRA, Astral Projections, my whole life story right here, things we talk about. This is True Power. It's a war manual for God's children these last days. If you want to use your true power, get those books. And then we've got the End Times Investigation, 8 hours of footage here. All of this, when you order it, goes to support the ministry. It keeps us on the air. Don't know how long I can be with you, but every week God performs a miracle, and here we are. But I got 8 hours of footage, my interviews with L.A. Marzulli, Michael Lake, Lisa Haven, Stephen Bancars, Josh Peck on Satanism, demonic powers, Illuminati, New World Order, Antichrist, One World Government, End Times Miracles. Text the word chosen to 71777, or you can go to davidheavener.tv/order, or you can call 844-806-0006. Reba, I was talking to you just before the break, and you're in the film industry. You wrote a script. Hollywood, I'm going to go through this quickly, but Hollywood stole it. You filed charges, and something happened. What happened?
Well, I was in a restaurant one day. I was by myself, a small restaurant here locally in town, and I had a feeling that I was being followed. You know, you just get that innate feeling. But I was at a restaurant, and I looked up, and there was a young man. He was an attractive man, standing in a shirt. He had on his shirt Illuminati. And I know they were angry with me because of the fact that I was trying to reveal that this was in fact stolen, and that money did not belong to them, but it belonged to me. I was the creator of the show.
Yeah.
So I finally got enough courage to send a cease and desist order to the network television.
Yeah.
So it wasn't long after that, I saw this young man at the restaurant. There was no one in there. He pulled a gun on me and looked at me straight in the eye. And I sat there, and you know how I pray consistently all day long. And in my mind, it's like, my God, what am I going to do? And I could hear a voice. It was not an audible voice, but he said, sit still, don't move. Don't move to the right, don't move to the left, just freeze. So Had I gotten up and ran, would I have been shot? If, what would have happened? But within just a minute or so, he looked at me, he turned white as a ghost and ran out the door and took off.
So the Illuminati, they're an organization. They're a real organization. I'm surprised he would have a T-shirt with Illuminati on it, but why not? I have a hat with Legalize Jesus T-shirt, so I'll put it right in your face. Satan, I put it in your face, legalize Jesus. So why wouldn't Satan put exactly who he is and what he's doing right in our face? At first, when you told me that he wore a T-shirt that said Illuminati, I'm thinking, wait a minute, hold on, are we talking like a bad B movie here? And then all of a sudden it hit me going, well, wait a minute, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't Satan? Satan's getting away with so much anyway. Why didn't he just throw it right in our face? Reba, why did they not want you? What was it about your script, your story, why they would want to steal it? What was the purpose of that?
It wasn't so much a story, but I was in the music business. So this was a program that I created around the music business.
Okay.
So I was a music publisher at the time. And I had my ex-husband, I was married to a publisher and a music producer.
Okay.
So we were not well known by the public, but we were very well known in the circles of the music business and music industry.
Okay.
So I guess, I apparently had been followed or whatever, that they got a hold of my script.
Yeah.
And because I was considered, and I don't consider myself that way, but I was considered to be, very good with the music.
Right.
So it's money. They're making millions.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, David.
Oh, no. So I'm trying to get to why they would want to take this. So it was because they could make money off of it. So
Money. It's period. Bottom line, money.
Money. Because I guess, they need money to fund their operation. We forget that Satan can't just conjure up dollars out of thin air, even though he does. They do it. It's called the Treasury Department. They print money. I said Satan can't. They can't. He can print money out of thin air, but that's a different story. Okay.
Yeah.
But these organizations, Illuminati and all that, they probably do print money. But I'm saying, you think of witches and warlocks. They can't just conjure up money out of thin air. So they've got to go out and find ways to get it. What do they do? We're talking human trafficking. We're talking drugs. We're talking stealing scripts from Reba. Anything they can do to make money, to filter it back into their evil, dark agenda, right?
All right. But, David, I know that God's got my back, and I know that what my promises are. Yeah. And, money has been stored up by the wicked, but that's going to be released to the righteous.
Okay. Am I included? Am I included in that righteous?
You are included. You're going to get some money, David.
I want to make sure I'm in the righteous line. I want to make sure I'm in the righteous line. I don't want to be in the unrighteous line. So,
well, and and I get my paybacks, and I can invest more into the last evangelist that I so greatly believe in.
Well, thank you. You're a sweetheart. But you know what? At the end of the day, I pray. Here's what I pray for, Reba. I don't pray for money. I pray for wisdom. Right. I ask God, I say, God, give me wisdom. Because you know what? If I can have wisdom, I can have peace of mind. I can have direction. I can have vision, provision. And I think you'll agree with me. If we could just have wisdom and use our mind to Christ, all of that stuff will come to us.
It does come.
Yeah, we'll be taken care of. When we come back, I'm going to ask you, actually, we're going to go underground. Hey, guys, by the way, if you haven't signed up for David Heavener TV, do it now, because Reba and I are going underground. It's the only way you'll get to continue with this show. We're going to disconnect from some other platforms. But Reba, we're going to go underground, and I'm going to ask you about your niece. You believe that she was a victim of SRA. Is that correct?
Yes, actually, it was my granddaughter.
Your granddaughter. Okay. And how, I don't want to get into details. We're going to do that when we go underground, but how old was she when it happened?
4.
4 years old.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to ask you how you discovered it. I'm going to ask you what part of the country it exists in. And I'm going to ask you if you believe that it's a lot more prevalent than what we believe it is. Reba, I want you to stay with me. We're going to see you underground. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, David.
Okay, so this is the words of a grandmother. She believes her granddaughter is a victim of satanic ritual abuse. And I want you to go with me. I want to have this conversation. I've interviewed 70, 80 victims. I've only been able to release maybe 30 or 40 of the interviews. Half of them are just too horrific. I don't know how to release them without, it's just too much. But I've known Reba for a long time. She's part of the ministry. She's not out there. So I really want you to join me, because I think it's important, folks. Why? Because I believe things are happening next door, down the street. in the schools, in the churches, and yet people are brain dead to it. And this ministry has been crying out for the past years to awaken people, to look up, to look out, to watch, to warn. Why? Because our children are the ones that are suffering. We stand for children. That's what this ministry does. At the end of the day, we stand for children. I stand for children, and I won't pull any punches. I stand for the widows. You don't have to be an older lady. You can be young. And you don't even have to be married or unmarried. You just need to be a widow. I stand for you. I stand for the children because they need us, and they're being abused. Every day, they're being abused. And the preachers get up in the pulpit and they refuse to talk about it most, not all, but most. God will hold them accountable. He will hold them accountable. I've yelled to the top of my voice. I've screamed. Wake up. We must wake up. Now's the time. You say, David, don't be so negative. I'm not negative. I'm very positive. I'm positive Christ is coming back on a white horse and he's going to cut the devil's head off. That's how positive I am. I'm positive that you win, I win. That's how positive I am. But folks, we cannot stick our head in the sand any longer. If you saw someone walking off the cliff, wouldn't you run over and grab them? If you saw a child drowning, would you go and pull them out of a swimming pool? That's what's happening now. It's happening to children physically and spiritually and emotionally. That's why I come against it. And I know that it makes a difference. God's called you and I on this mission. Please help support the ministry. Would you please consider becoming a monthly partner? Just text the word chosen to 91999. I want to increase these broadcasts. I'm going to come to you more and more so we can keep getting the word out, but I can't do it unless I have your prayers, unless I have your support. Please text that word chosen to 91999, or you can call 844-806-0006. All right. I want you to go underground with me. Go right now. Sign up to David Havner TV. And we're going underground. We're talking to Reba about SRA. And just remember, you never really lived till you found someone worth dying for, Christ Jesus.